Hello race fans and welcome to the V8 Supercar America Series presented by Get Dirty EMX, Direct Clutch Services, and our very own V8's online superstore. I'm JD Smith, with me right now Kane Kraft, and we're getting ready to take you live for V8 Supercar action right now.
Contact free! Close, it's in free!
Muggleton just has to cross over this crest. He will cross the line and will win the championship.
Hello race fans and welcome to week 4 of the 2015 season 1 season here in the V8's Americas series. I'm JD Smith. With me tonight will be Kane Kraft as we get ready to present to you some awesome V8 Supercar Americas action. And as always, our broadcasts are presented in beautiful high definition and are brought to you by the V8 Supercar fan group, Direct Clutch Services, and our very own V8's online superstore. Kane, it's already been an amazing season so far. But before I even go on to any of that, I want to say that I'm happy to be back this week, and I want to say a big thank you to both you and Brenton O'Brien. For those of you guys that may not have missed or may have missed the broadcast last week, those two put on an amazing show, and just wanted to say a big thanks to both of them. Brenton came in here and did a wonderful job. The show went through very well. It was a great race as well, and really enjoyed watching it as a viewer. It was kind of fun. But vacation's over, and I'm happy to be back in the saddle again, buddy. Kane, it's been an amazing season so far. It's been really fun watching this battle between these Holdens and Fords, and it just seems right. It's just something we've been waiting for a long time. It's here. We're kind of getting in that. This is week 4, so you're starting to get into the meat of the season. And here we are, heading to Little Budworth in Cheshire, England, to the Oulton Park. And this is a very famous circuit. Oulton Park, very fun. 17 turns tonight. It's going to be kind of a narrow track too, buddy. Kind of going to be one of those tracks that's going to be very, very difficult to get those passes completed. So you're going to need to try to hold on to everything you had. It's going to be one of those races where mistakes are critical. You have to keep them to the minimum. And if you have a chance to capitalize on an opportunity, you better take care of it, because if you're not, you're never going to make it up to the front of this field. But anyways, happy to have you here on the show, Kane. Welcome, buddy. How have you been?
Good, yeah. We both barely about made it here today. We got here just in time, so lucky to have the broadcast going in time for the race launch. I got held up at work, you got held up at a family dinner, and we both happened to walk in right at launch time here, so lucky to have a broadcast tonight. But we got one going. What a fantastic race here at Oulton Park. Last night there was a nail biter between Corey Preston, Marlon McMullen. Marlon ended up getting the victory, but Corey put on one heck of a fight, so I'll look for about the same, as Corey Preston's got a lot of pace here today.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch him too, Kane. Corey, remember he had that, we're talking about Corey Preston here. Remember he had that injury to the driving hand. Excuse me there. But, good to see him getting back into some good pace. He was very concerned on how that would heal. And really, when you look at the time frame that he was away from the car to him getting back in the car and getting everything settled, very short recovery time for him. And he's doing very well. Very, very proud of him. And I know that he's happy. It's always great when you get that confidence going. He had a little bit of a downslide before the injury. Had some issues off the track, and then had the incident, with the hand, and had to sit away for a little while. Maybe that helped him out with some mental things that he had to work on. Just kind of sitting on the sidelines sometimes can really let the mind do some really mysterious things, and you kind of can look inward at some things. And I think that it's really helped him a lot. He has a lot more confidence, it seems, since he's come back. and he's really shown a lot of growth in a short amount of time. Really, really proud of him, and excited to see what Corey Preston will bring to the race today.
Yeah, definitely. Marlon as well got a lot of speed, so we'll be looking for Marlon to do well. I'm not into the server yet to see who all else is here today. Possibly Jake Burton might be in the show this week.
Yeah, it looks like when I was looking at some of the, I'm still waiting to get on the server as well, but it looks like we're going to have, look like Jake Burton might have been on there. I know that we'll have Bo Cattell, saw him in there. Marlon McMullen, of course, will be here.
Yeah, Jake Burton's not in the race, so, yeah, Joe Peak's back this week. Michael Cracknell, Martin Carroll, Nigel Baines is here this week, and Chad Chastain, so good to see those two guys. Michael Schreier here this week. Tony Ottridge is back again. Glad to see Tony and John Emerson.
Got a field loaded full of talent here, and it's going to be fun. A track I feel like we haven't been here in a while, Kane, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it just feels like we haven't been here in a while. I know that we have been here before plenty of times, but it just feels like it's been quite a while since we've been here at Oulton Park, and just kind of going to be fun to see what these guys, see what they bring to the table today. I'm excited, and it's about that time to head out there. I should be at any second getting my pictures up, and as soon as I do, I'm going to go ahead and do a starting grid. But until that time, I'll tell you what, as soon as I do that, it popped up right when I said that. So I'll go ahead and do our how the guys will be lining up today. And let's look, as track position will be very important today. And on our poll, it's going to be John Emerson, and a very, very, very fast time from John. He put up a pole time of 1:34.5, and that is 4/10 faster than the next guy, which is Chad Chastain, who will be starting in that second slot on the grid. And then in third, actually, I take that back. I'm looking at some funky times. That is their correct times. Tony Ottridge will be starting third. I had a practice time pulled up, but that is the official qualifying. I was correct on that. And then fourth, it'll be Marlon McMullen. So the winner from last night starting fourth. And then rounding out our top five will be Corey Preston, who we talked about a little bit in the pre-race show a minute ago. Michael Schreier will be starting sixth. Marty Carroll seventh. Eighth will be Michael Fulcher in his Sim Pit Falcon. And then Bo Cattell is in ninth in his Osram Holden. And then rounding out the top 10 cars on the starting grid will be another Sim Pit Holden. That's going to be Michael Cracknell. So Crackers rounds out the top 10. How about another SDC car in 11th? That'll be Nigel Baines in the number 8 machine, as it's good to see Nigel Baines back out on the track. Chris Stone will be starting 12th. David Moore 13th. Hayden Dork will be 14th. Leon Tander will be 15th. And we go back to 16th. It'll be Sergei Zakharov. And then we go down to Max Wilson in 17th. 18th will be Joe Peak, Clifton Cockrell 19th. And rounding out all 20 cars will be Greg Sharp in the number 15 machine to round out round out the 20 car field. And we do have 3 full splits, boys. And it's 19 in the second and third split and 20 cars here in the top split. But let's take the action down to the number 1 machine as John Emerson gets ready to take us green here in Week 4 action of the V8 Supercar Americas Season 1 here in 2015. And then we got our engines revving up loud. Just for a second, the light should be getting ready to shine up. Here goes the engines. One good time. Let's let John Emerson take us green at Oulton Park. All right, here we go. Let's see if Chad Chastain can make something work and see if he can get that Sim Pit Falcon to the inside of Emerson. He's not going to be able to do so. We got a great battle for third happening right behind them. It's a great one from Marlon McMullen to try to get around Tony Ottridge up there, and he does. He makes it work for the moment. Good job from Marlon. He'll jump up a spot. Behind them, a good battle between Corey Preston and Tony Ottridge. Corey going to the inside and trying to work up to the fourth position. Can't do it. He gets stuck on the outside, and he'll have to be very patient, but he's not. He's very aggressive early in the race, and he's right there with Tony Ottridge, Kane. He's going to get around that TTR Holden if he keeps it up.
Yeah, a little bump there to the TTR Holden of Tony Ottridge, but Tony kept it all going straight as Corey let off just enough for him to recoup. But things looking good so far. This top of the field is looking very ferocious here.
Already great action up here with Marlon McMullen. You saw him already right from the get-go move up from 5th, got around Tony Autridge there and did a wonderful job getting around him. Now he's looking ahead to that 2nd spot, and Chad Chastain he is already right there in the action. So Chad there in the number 7 Simpit Falcon has to be very concerned right now as he has Marlon McMullen on the tail. And he's coming up in quite a bit of a hurry here right now, looking maybe something. I'm really liking the car Marlon's in this week, or the one that I'm showing anyhow. Really good looking Holden there in the Mobile 1. Holden looks fantastic.
Yeah, I just updated and it didn't change to Marlon's new livery. And it ain't updating Chad's either, so having a little issue with trading paints today.
Oh man, they're both really fantastic. Hopefully they will get uploaded soon. The one that I'm showing for Chad is a really cool lime green. It's a white, black, and then of course lime green Simpit. Got the American flag on the roof. Looks really good. And but we got a good battle going on, guys, for 3rd. Here comes Tony Autridge on the rebound. He's going to get all the way up and almost touch the rear bumper of Marlon McMullen, the 2-time champ here in the America Series. He'd love to get back to his winning ways. And he's doing a good job right now holding down a podium position, but has a threat right behind him in Tony Autridge. He wants that position back. Let's take a little bit further back look in the field. Got just a pass that was wonderful. Nigel Baines just made a great move. I take that back. That wasn't Nigel Baines. It was Nigel Baines. I apologize. He got around Chris Stone. I have to apologize for a minute as I had a small glitch and it was showing Nigel's car, but it wasn't his name on my screen. But that was Nigel. He got around Chris Stone there. So right now, Nigel Baines in 9th position. And we'll keep a close eye on Nigel to see how well he does getting up through the field. He's had some issues with qualifying over the course of the season, but once he's got into the races that he's been here, he's done a phenomenal job. He works his way up through the field very nicely. And it'll be fun to see how far he works up today. Remember, he started 11th, already up to 8th place. Or, I'm sorry, 9th place at the moment. But a wonderful job by the number 8 car of
Do want to mention
Baines.
Bo Cattell back in the 18th position here today. Not sure what happened off the start there, but Bo finds himself at the back of the pack trying to make his way forward.
Yeah, tough for him. He's going to have a long way to make up there. And he's looking ahead right now to the number 15 car, the Maverick Weldon Holden of Greg Sharp. So we'll keep an eye on these guys. Even though they're in the back of the field, got some great racing going on even back here. And lots of action going on all through the field. And there should be another good battle. There is. Actually, it's between Michael Cracknell and Leon Tander. Now, Leon Tander is on a tear. Keep your eye on him. Leon started the race. He was gridded in the 15th position. He's in 12th at the moment. So already made up 3 spots and already looking to get another one as he's trying to get around David A. Moore now, who's up in 11th. So keep your eye on Leon Tander here. Definitely a car to watch. Yeah, I really like that paint on Leon Tander's number 18 Holden. That driveline Holden is looking really good. You know me and teal, but I like how it's got that charcoal gray and then the teal highlights. Looks fantastic. And he's got some company right there. The Simpit is Simpit Holden right on his tail. Michael Cracknell. Now, Michael Cracknell, remember, started in 10th. He's already fallen back to 13th, but now he seems to be getting back in a good rhythm here as he's hanging right with Leon Tander. It's just a track you got to be really careful at. It's kind of narrow compared to some of the wider tracks that we go to, so it makes passing a little bit more difficult than some of the other places. But I'm really impressed with the way some of these guys have been able to maneuver themselves around the track so far. Very fun to watch. Chris Stone still going at it with Nigel. He's actually going to work to the inside. Nigel shuts the door and stays out in front. Good job from the Welsh driver there as Nigel Baines holds on to the 9th position for the moment.
Yeah, a couple spots up ahead. Michael Schreier and Marty Carroll having a battle of their own, as Schreier has been putting some serious pressure on the bumper there of Marty Carroll.
Yeah, that is, I'm really glad you brought that up. Another new paint for me that I've seen, new LED Innovations Blue Falcon there from Michael Schreier, the number 6 car, and he is looking really good right now. He is trying to get around another Ford. That's Marty Carroll up there in his Sim Pit Ford Falcon. And a good run from Marty right now in the number 9 car. He's looking really good. Has a little bit of damage to the right side of the car. Nothing to worry about, though. Just little bits of dings and nicks that you get from riding around. Oh, there's a little bit more damage than I thought when I looked at the front of the car, guys. I missed that. So maybe some early contact with Marty, maybe perhaps on the start, I would assume. And but the car has good pace at the moment. Pretty fast lap. That last one, nothing to jump up and down or about, but it's actually going to be just okay for him right now. He's got a gap. Looking ahead, Corey Preston, the next car that's in front of Marty. And he's got a little bit of a gap to make up to him. Remember, Corey had good pace from the start, but he's starting to fall away from Tony Ottridge.
Yeah, Tony still holding in there with Marlon McMullen. These guys are still having a battle. Tony's not letting Marlon get too far away. So, great battle here for the third still. And a little bit further ahead, Chad Chastain working to try to reel in John Emerson, who's started to pull away a little bit here at lap number 5 of 24.
Yeah, John is all the way up here. Got a nice 4 to 5 car lead over Chad right now. He's
lots
really
of damage for Emerson.
Yeah, he's got a little bit damage. You're right, buddy. Missing both quarter panels, the front left and right quarter panels on the car's holding, but it's holding its own right now. Last lap time doesn't look too bad, buddy. 135.4, and that's only about 6/10 slower than his qualifying time. Maybe about 7/10 slower, but still, when you look at the damage and look at the last lap, that's not hurting him very much at all when you compare it to the rest of the field.
Chad with about the same damage.
Now tell me if your screen didn't just do this, but his damage just got fixed. I don't know what just happened, but when he started the new lap, it fixed his damage on the car, so no damage on the car of John Emerson.
Yeah, it did do it on mine as well. Check Chad Chastain, see if it, yeah, it did it to Chad too as well. So some kind of little glitch there with the fenders. So apparently they don't have nearly the damage that it looked like. It looks like neither one of those guys have any damage.
I'm not going to lie, it did have me a little baffled, buddy, because I was thinking, you know, both of these guys got off to really good starts, and they haven't been in a position where they could really have received any damage, no contact between the drivers. So glad that is just a glitch. I was wondering how they were able to drive so well with that much damage, but the cars are okay. It's just a little bit of a, like you said, a fender glitch. And we'll keep you guys posted if there is some real damage in the near future. Looking at the rear of the field, in the GTI Ford, it is Max Wilston, who is in the back of the field. He's in 20th, of course, and then ahead of him, a little ways ahead, Clifton Cockrell in the number 17 car. Now, he's all the way in 19th. These guys moving along at a pretty decent pace here. He's in the Thrustmaster Holden. Ahead of him is Joe Peak in the GSRC Ford, and he is, you know, he's got a little space between him and the next driver. The next driver in front of him is Greg Sharp in the Maverick welding machine, and that Holden is by itself as well. That's when we get a good battle ahead of them. In 16th, it's Bo Cattell, who has caught Leon Tanner. Leon Tanner has fallen back. Something had happened to him. Remember, he was up there all the way in 12th, Kane. He's lost 3 positions, has a little bit of damage to the front end of the car. Nothing tremendous, just a tiny bit of damage there on the left side of the front left of the car. Nothing to be concerned about, I wouldn't think, but it looks like he's doing okay now, just a little fallback. But he is holding off right now. He's actually starting to put a little bit of space in between him and Bo Cattell. That is the battle for 15th. Ahead of them, it could be a good battle here soon between Hayden Dirt and Sergei Zakharov.
Do want to mention that several people had put in for some changes on the overlays, and I did get those, but I didn't get them entered. My plan was to enter them before the show tonight, and like I said earlier, we just come in right in enough time to broadcast, so I will get those changes made for next week's broadcast. But as of now, I still see a couple of the cars that are showing the wrong teams. So if you see your driver's got the wrong team listed, I am aware of it, and I will get it changed for next week's broadcast.
And as always, buddy, thanks for the update. Kane always works so hard to make sure that all the guys are represented well, and it is a great job, buddy, that you do. I tell you where the action is
Michael
right now.
Michael Cracknell to the inside of the GTI car of David Moore.
We got
got him.
We got a good run up here too, Kane. A really good push from right up there from Marty Carroll, because I tell you what, Michael Schreier about had him. They were about to go side by side. Schreier had a great boost of momentum, and Marty Carroll with a great move on the inside there to try to shut the door. And when he did, he just turned on some Mo. I don't know where he got it, but he turned it on. Great job from Marty there. Oh, we got another close battle up near the front of the field, guys. It looks like it could be the two of Tony Ottridge and Marlon McMullen going at it again through this chicane section here. And a great run out of the chicane from Marlon McMullen in the number 3 Mobile 1 Holden. Fantastic run from him. And I'm really proud of how these guys are running up here at the front real tight. And I tell you who's not far off, and keep your eye on him, is Corey Preston. He's right in the mix. He's not that far off pace, and he's actually about 5 car lengths back, but he is still definitely in this picture.
Yeah, Corey's lap times are still very, very good. So if he just keeps his head down, there's still plenty of time left in this race for him to catch these guys and start putting pressure on Tony Ottridge for that 4th place.
Boy, these two still going at it. Here comes Schreier to the inside. Doesn't have enough track to get the job done. He'll have to wait and wait. He just have to be patient, and patience is a virtue. It's tough, but it pays off if you just got to capitalize at the right time. Don't push it too hard and force anything that's not there.
And this track is so hard to pass on as well.
Oh, it is. It's just so narrow. It's so narrow. It makes it really tough. And I tell you what, Michael Fulcher and Nigel Baines, we watched Nigel, and you talked about it a little bit earlier, Kane. He is caught all the way up with teammate Michael Fulcher, and these guys are riding on. It's funny because you got a Holden sim pit, and then right ahead of that one you have a Falcon sim pit. And it's just funny, you know, it's really cool those guys let the team represent what they want, and I think that's pretty cool.
Well, that's one thing about this Holden versus Ford rivalry is you about have to, on these bigger teams, you about have to let your drivers drive whatever car they want, because as we've seen, this rivalry between these two cars is pretty intense.
Yeah, some people wouldn't be caught dead in one or the other. I mean, in the past, you had no choice. If you wanted to drive a V8 Supercar, you had to drive a Ford. And then last season, you had to drive a Holden. But not the case today. Now you can make the choice. And these guys have made their choices, and they are not going to change. You couldn't pay them to drive something else. Nigel Baines in position right now to get around Michael. Oh, what a move. Michael Fulcher has moved ahead of Nigel Baines now. So a great job there from Michael Fulcher to get around Nigel Baines. And we'll see what happens if Nigel can get back around. They had just did a flip-flop on me. He was, but then right when I said that, Nigel got around him, and then they went right back. They did a flip-flop.
Yeah, we've seen good racing like this all 4 weeks that we've been in this season 1 of the 2015 season. We have seen these intense races that go back and forth and back and forth. Last week we had drivers that for several laps in a row just kept passing back and forth, and it was very exciting. These guys definitely making this season a very intense one.
Here comes some action from Bo Cattell. He's made a couple passes since we last focused on him. He's made it around 3 cars. He's made it around Leon Tander, Hayden Dirk, and Sergei Zakharov, and moved up into the 13th position. So great job from Bo Cattell to turn something from nothing. He had a rough start, and we weren't quite sure what happened at the beginning, but he has rebounded some. I like that. He's got a really good pace at the moment for the damage that he had done to his car. Not quite as fast as the leaders up there, but he's definitely could make up another position or two at the rate he's going.
Back up ahead to the 9th position, got the number 8 car of Nigel Baines nearly pushing Fulch down the long stretch here. Close battle between these guys. Then the battle right ahead of them, you got Michael Schreier and Martin Carroll. These two here are still going after it. Schreier being awful patient back there behind Marty Carroll, as there's just not a whole lot of places to pass here.
Now Marty just had some had some work done. Glad to see him in the car this fast. He had just had some serious dental work done, and they had to, I believe they had to put him under, Kane. So good to see him on the track this fast. That was yesterday. And so I know if you've ever had any dental work done that's like serious, teeth pulled or anything, that's extremely painful. And you just don't feel like doing anything. But for him to be back the next day right here on the track and riding in 6th position, very good.
Yeah, Marty's having a great season so far. Last week, they brought it home in the 4th position, I believe, and after a fantastic race. He really stepped it up last week and put on a great race for us.
Well, I think, Marty had 2 back-to-back rough seasons, and I don't mean rough as in they were bad, but, I mean, well, if you ask Marty, he'll tell you they were terrible, but, I mean, it just seemed like things just didn't go his way, but Marty had so much going on, Kane. He was starting up STC Motorsports. Him and Nigel were both putting in loads of time into getting the team started. And last season he was still busy with team issues and getting things straightened out. And this season he's finally had some time just to race and enjoy it. And it's really paid off. I mean, just you can just watch him and tell this a huge difference. It's night and day. And it's back to the way that Marty raced when me and you first met him. He has really got tremendous pace, and it shows right now. A great driver right there on his tail, and he just looks so cool, calm, and collective, and that's the way you have to be. I mean, Michael Schreier is right there with him. In fact, a good move right there from Michael. Almost had a little bit of a run at Marty, but Marty has just looked about as flawless as you can right now up here in the 6th position.
Trouble for Leon Tander as Leon finds himself into the grass. Going to go back and do a race recall replay and see exactly what happened to Leon.
Yeah, I hate to see that for Leon Tander. Obviously, not the first incident from Leon, Kane, as he had lost some positions earlier. Oh, there it is. He was coming around this little chicane area. He wasn't the only car. He got off into the grass, and it slung the back end around on him, and he hit the tire barrier there. So a little bit more damage done to the driveline holding there of Leon Tander. That's the number 18 car, guys, looking on. Thanks for the race recall replay. And another car was involved as well, but he didn't get any damage. That was Hayden Dirk. And I think it's Durkee, if I've been saying it wrong. Sorry, Hayden, I apologize. But Hayden had gotten loose coming through the beginning of the chicane there, and he had a wonderful save.
Yeah, he did. It looked like he kind of followed Leon through, and he noticed the mistake right away, and then he corrected for it and went kind of opposite, overcorrected and went the opposite direction. But he got it saved and got right back on track, and he got a position out of it. Now Hayden Durkee's up to the 15th position.
It's a breather for the number 16 car of Sergei Zakharov. as he is in 14th where he has been, but he had some pretty decent pressure from both of those cars, Leon Tander and Hayden Durkee, but now has a little bit of breathing room with that incident there. And but he's not out of the clear. I mean, Hayden's... Oh, more trouble for Hayden Kane. He is in the tire barrier and facing the wrong direction. This will be heavily costly as another car goes by. That's Greg Sharp. And now you'll see Joe Peak go by as well. He can't get it going. Kane, he spun it again and finally gets things going. Tough break there for Hayden Durkee. And he just lost it again. Same thing kind of happened again. And it makes me wonder what the tire situation is on these cars. We're only on lap 13 of 24. It's just, surely the tires can't be that gone yet. But as I watch it, it really looks like they are. That car just got out from under him.
Yeah, he might have gave it just a little bit too much. A little bit too much throttle a little too soon and broke those tires loose. But like I say, the tires could be gone. And we are 15 laps into this race, and tires could be becoming an issue for these guys.
Tell you what, after listening to you say that, I was listening to the engine noise, and he did get on the accelerator pretty heavily, and the back end spun around on him. That is exactly what it looked like to me happen, buddy. So I think you're absolutely right. And look at this, Michael Cracknell back in 11th. He's in the number 10 Sim Pit Holden, and he's got his eyes set on Chris Stone. Trouble for Nigel Baines. He's into the tire barrier and a hard hit. And that is not good for the number 8 Sim Pit Holden, Nigel Baines. Let's get a race recall replay and find out what happened to Nigel, who had a wonderful run going. And looks like another car just getting loose, Kane. He comes over the crest of the hill, and as he gets down to come down, he goes to get on the brakes, and the car just gets sideways on him a little bit. Did he get over the curb, and that caused the car to get loose? That's hard to say.
Yeah, something. That was an unusual one.
That is definitely unusual, especially for a driver like Nigel Baines, who is definitely a seasoned talent, and very unfortunate for him here at lap number 14. So we've seen this a few times now from some not only newer drivers, but some veterans as well. And that really makes me want to keep an eye on the rest of this race just to kind of see what happens. I'm sure if we've seen it already this much, it's going to happen again. So nobody's safe out there. And now Michael Schreier is right on Marty Carroll and could possibly overtake for 6th here. Let's see what happens as the battle has continued with these two since the drop of the green flag. Boy, I tell you what, Marty's going to ask me to keep doing that, because every time I bring them up, Marty gets a run. It's like he's listening to the broadcast in the car, and he is just pushing.
Marty does listen to the broadcast while he's racing.
I was about to say, as soon as I said that, I remembered he does watch the broadcast. And but it's funny. I mean, he really does. As soon as I bring it up, he starts pushing. And there he goes again. Well, great job right there from the number 9 Sim Pit Ford Falcon. And Marty Carroll holding on to 6th place for the moment. Let's check in and do a little quick rundown. Oh, before we do a rundown, let's take a look at Marlon McMullen. He has really got some company, guys. Here it is on the inside. It's going to be the TTR Holden of Tony Ottridge, and he will make the pass as Marlon McMullen got a little bit wide there through the turn. And he'll have to fight hard to get that position 3 back, as right now Tony Ottridge moves up into a podium spot, and Tony regains 3rd. He had it at the beginning of the race, fell back immediately, and wait a minute, here comes a rebound chance. It's not going to happen. The outside wasn't there for the Mobil 1 Holden of Marlon McMullen, and he looks extremely loose trying to find some grip. He really had the accelerator going. He is really fighting. He does not want to let this TTR Holden get away from him.
Yeah, Marty's running pretty heavy here. He's definitely don't want to let Tony get away. But passing opportunities are few and far between on this track, so he's really going to have to pick his move here awful carefully.
That's great stuff going on right here between both cars. And It seemed like to me right now, Tony Autrych's car looks so much more stable than Marlon McMullen. Marlon looked like he's really struggling with the handling on the car right now. And it seems like these guys are really having a time out there with these tires. If you're watching the 3 car, and that's Marlon McMullen for you guys watching on, Kane, you see what I'm talking about there? I don't know if you've noticed it or not, but Marlon, every now and again, usually on the exit of a turn, when he tries to go get back on the accelerator, the car he's getting some rear wheel slip, and it's costing him a tiny bit of time every time he does it. He hadn't done it in the past 2 turns, but for a minute there, it was about every turn.
Did Tony just hit the barrier there?
Yeah, he did. Let me go back and I'll look at it real quick just to see if he did make contact. And let me change my angle. I had a really bad angle, but it really did look like he hit it. No, Kane, he did not hit it. I mean, you could have put a piece of paper in there and that would have been about it. But he did not hit it. His left tires did go off the track, and that's what kicked up the dust. But, man, that was close. I mean, that was so close.
On board with Marlon McMullen as he tries to run down Tony Autrych. He is not letting him get away. As a matter of fact, I think Marlon's just looking for a way around. These guys both identical pace here. 7 laps to go in the race, and these guys are matching each other turn for turn.
Yeah, this is what it's all about right here, King. White knuckle racing all the way to the end of the race. Like you said, 7 laps remain, and that is it. And I tell you what, Marlon McMullen does not want a TTR sign to finish ahead of him. He wants to get that spot back, and he's going to do everything in his power to get back around. They are literally matching each other identical. Not much time to get things done. So it'll be really fun to see how aggressive Marlon will decide to get here as this race winds down, to see if he can get this podium spot. This isn't like a top 6 or 7. This isn't for a podium position. Oh, big trouble from the TTR car of Tony Autrych as he got off track, and that's going to allow for Mr. Marlon McMullen and the Mobil 1 Commodore to make the pass. Let's see if Tony can rebound. Tony about hit that tire barrier again, Kane.
Yeah, as soon as I took the camera off of him, I seen Nigel was having a little battle of his own, so I took the camera back to check on Nigel, and as soon as I did, Tony had a little mistake there and took it off track. That allowed Marty McMullen to sneak on by, but Tony's not going to let Marlon get away this time. He's going to want that position back as well, so we're not done with this battle here.
No, in fact, I would be just about willing to say in the next lap we'll see him exchange again, because here Tony is coming on very strong.
Do you want to check back on Michael Schreier, who's still not letting Marty Carroll go? He's still right there with Marty Carroll, and it's been a great race all race long. 6 laps to go now as Michael Schreier is still putting the pressure on Marty Carroll. And we'll check back another battle going on. Michael Cracknell's chasing down Chris Stone for that number 9th position.
Kane, hate to jump in there, but on the inside it is Tony Autrych, and he made a beautiful pass but gets into the grass. Oh no, he went in just a little bit too hot, and that allowed Marlon McMullen to hang on to 3rd place. And such a tough break there from Tony Autrych. He had the perfect look. He jumped all over it, but it was just too much for the tires. Now he's got another problem on his hands, because now here comes a car in the rearview mirror, and it's none other than Corey Preston.
Yeah, Corey Preston can smell it now. You know that Corey is definitely. Oh, it looks like he might have just made a little bit of contact with that barrier there, Corey Preston. But
he did.
You know he wants to catch those guys real bad.
He did, buddy. Can you see it? There's some damage on the front right side of the Ford Falcon there of Corey Preston. That Apexy Ford, tough break right now. Still time to make it up, though. Lap 19 of 24. Has a little bit of time left to get things done. He's going to have to be perfect from here on out, though, because Marlon McMullen and Tony Autrych driving like 2 men on a mission here And as the guys get ready to start lap number 20, I will do a quick rundown of the field. I've been trying to do one already, but every time I do, something exciting happens. And in the lead right now, it's John Emerson, and he's on his own race out there. A great lead ahead of second place driver Chad Chastain in the number 7 Sim Pit, Ford. And then we go back to third place, of course, Marlon McMullen in fourth place, Tony Autridge, the battle we've been watching. And behind them, it is Corey Preston. Marty Carroll in sixth place with Michael Schraer right there in seventh, and a great battle going on with those two. Back in eighth, it is Michael Fulcher. Ninth, it's Chris Stone as he's battling Cracknell for 10th. And we go back, Mo Cattell has made his way up to 11th as he made it around the 12th place driver, Nigel Baines. David A. Moore is in 13th, and 14th is Sergei Zakharov. As we move back down the field, it's Leon Tander, Greg Sharp, Joe Peak, Hayden Durkee, Clifton Cockrell, and Max Wilson rounds out the 20-car field. Guys, that is how we go. Kane, we got a race on the roll.
Notice Joe Peak's got some pretty significant damage there to the front end of the car. He's lost his hood and everything. So Joe having a kind of a tough race here today.
Yeah, not the result he was wanting. I guarantee you, buddy. He knew he could come in and do a little bit better than this. Just been a tough break so far. Hopefully he'll be able to rebound nicely, get a decent, best finish he can out of what he's got left, and pack it up, get ready for next week.
With 4 laps to go, he is going to have a battle to the finish line as Hayden Durkee has chased him down, and these two here are going to have a battle.
Oh, man, while they're battling, we got another battle, of course, with Marty Carroll and Michael Schraer. Michael had it, but the back end got a little loose on him, and the guys get ready to start 21 here. So we are really winding down here at Oulton Park, guys. Week 4 of the V8 Supercar Americas series, or a season presented by V8 Online. Fantastic job. Corey Preston still pushing, trying to catch Tony Autridge and Marlon McMullen. Marlon has about a 2-car length lead, so that's good news for him. And see if he can hold on to this podium position. As I say that, here comes Tony with another push. Yeah, Tony Autridge right back in the picture. Took a 2-car length lead and knocked it down to about a half-car length lead. And he is really, really trying to push ahead. And I tell you what, this thing is going to go down to the wire as to who gets the final spot on the podium. I think we're pretty safe in saying John Emerson and Chad Chastain will be on the 1 and 2 spot, but this 3rd spot is still up in the air between 2 Holden Commodores. In fact, on our manufacturers list, John Emerson in the lead. We got Holden, Ford, Holden, That's our Ford, sorry. So three Holdens, 2 Fords in your top 5. And John Emerson is on lap 22 and 24. So our leader with just about 2.5 laps left in the ball game. And Tony Autridge would love to get this final spot on the podium. He hadn't been able to hold it just yet. He's got a little bit of space to work up. Now, Michael Schraer is still in that same spot, Kane. He has been right on Marty's tail the whole race. You would think these two were hitched together. I mean, it's that close for the entire 22.5 laps that we've been racing.
Yeah, Schraer definitely having a little tough time seeing out the windshield, as his windshield is just caked full of tire debris and oil and everything else. When you're running that close to the car in front of you, everything that comes out the back of their car is going to end up on your windshield, and it has, as Michael Schraer's windshield is very dirty.
Yeah, he needs some, I was going to say some Rain-X, but he just needs somebody to come over and give him a window tear off there, and that thing is dirty. It makes a difference, too. Oh, no! That was a scary moment. It definitely cost him a little bit of time there. Schraer went a little bit too hot into the chicane area there, and that allowed Marty to get out on a really nice exit out of the chicane. And he's got a nice-sized lead now. Will that be the lead that he needs just to make sure that he capitalizes on this 6th place finish? Oh, here goes another run right here. It's going to be Tony Autridge coming around as they start lap 23. Gets right back up here with the 2-time champ, none other than Marlon McMullen. A great run here for the final spot on the podium. Who's going to get it as they only have 2 laps left? Is it going to be Marlon McMullen, or will we see Tony Attridge make the pass? Now remember, Tony's got him a V8 Supercar America's championship as well. And not only that, as they get ready to go side by side, but Tony Attridge is more recent.
Yeah, Tony didn't have the week that he wanted to have last week, but he's definitely made up for it today. He's come in here with lots of pace today. I'd have to say he was probably off pace a little bit from where he wanted to be last week, but this week he got to be pretty proud. He's come in here and had a great race today.
Boy, he is right there, Kane. I mean, right on the bumper of Marlon McMullen. These two are putting on a show for you guys, ladies and gentlemen. And we want to thank all you guys for staying tuned the whole race. We appreciate all the live viewers. And they are putting on a show for you guys. Oh, a little bit of trouble from the TTR guy. Got a little loose on the exit of the chicane. He'll pull it together and actually not even really lose as much time as I thought he would. He lost a little bit. He's going to go down about 3 car lengths, but he can pull that back together if he gets on a tear here at the end. He's already starting to gain some of that ground back. Good run from Tony Attridge, guys, trying to run down Marlon McMullen. What do you think? Will he catch him, yes or no? Write in the comments there if you have a second to write a comment. I'm telling you, this is a close one, and it's going to come down to the wire. Right now, it looks like it's all up to Marlon as the white flag is out, ladies and gentlemen. We are on our final lap here at Oulton Park in week 4, and John Emerson is on his way to finish this thing.
Yeah, another smooth, clean, and fast race there for John Emerson as he takes it flag to flag and just has a good, clean race.
Yeah, I was about to say, buddy, we really haven't had an opportunity to talk about John Emerson in this race. He has had the cars holding out front all race long. I mean, it has been a dominant performance from Emerson, and just a wonderful performance here today as he gets ready to take this thing across the checkers. So just a few more turns for him, and he'll have a big win here in the V8 Supercar America Series.
Oh, Tony getting ready to make his move. He's going to the outside of Marlon McMullen right now.
And as they go to the chicane, it's side-by-side action. The TTR car of Tony Attridge going to have to fall behind. Great, great opportunity, but it wasn't able to happen. Back up front, John Emerson will take the checkered flag here, guys. He's getting ready. He just has one more turn to go, and he'll have this thing, or one more serious turn, I should say. And this race is his. So we'll go ahead and say it. Your winner, John Emerson, and second place it will be Chad Chastain. What's going to happen here at the end? It looks like it's all Marlon McMullen. One more turn to go. Will there be one final push? No, it'll be Marlon McMullen who will be on the final spot of the podium, and a great run right behind him as Tony Attridge will finish 4th. Great stuff. Corey Preston will take 5th and round out the top 5 cars here at Oulton Park. And behind him it is Marty Carroll, followed by Michael Schrayer. Those two raced their butts off today, Kane, finishing 6th and 7th. And then back in 8th it is Michael Fulcher. A great run from the Sim Pit Falcon for him. And we go back, Chris Stone 9th, 10th place. A great run. Rounding out your top 10 was Michael Cracknell. Bo Cattell will take 11th. What a rebound from him. 12th will be Nigel Baines after his incident. David Moore 13th. Sergei Zakharov 14th. Leon Tander 15th after multiple incidents for him. Greg Sharp 16th. Joe Peak 17th. Hayden Durkee will finish 18th. Clifton Cockrell will finish in 19th, and 2 laps down was Max Wilson. He'll round out the 20-car field. What a phenomenal race here in week 4. Some great action here in the V8 Supercar America Series. Drivers got a lot to be proud of today. Great runs all around the track.
Yeah, another race. They certainly didn't disappoint. We've seen races from the top to the bottom nearly the entire race long. Some of those battles did go on for the entire race. And, yeah, God, this season has just been intense.
It really has, Kane. It has been an intense season. It's been really fun, and looking forward to just seeing how this thing is going to wrap up. We got, we had our short season last season, and this season we got our full 12 weeks. And this is just week 4, so the first quarter of the season is now in the books, and we have 3/4 of the way to go. A lot can still happen in this season, and it's exciting when you're in that season 1. We're start of a new year, 2015. We have 2 new cars, so many new things happening. It's just a fresh start. But now a lot of the guys are starting to shape up and see what kind of season they're going to have. A couple guys still have a great opportunity to turn things around. Maybe they haven't had the start that they want to. They can still turn this thing around, but they're going to have to start putting some results up and keep the mistakes to a minimum. But a great run. All in all, John Emerson dominated here today. What a performance from him. That was just unbelievable.
Yeah, it's getting harder to come in here to the V8 Supercar Americas Series and dominate like we've seen in past seasons. The skill in this series has really climbed to a whole new level. And for John Emerson to come in here 2 races in a row and pull away to a 5 or 6 second lead is definitely something to be proud of, as this field has really gotten strong. So for him to pull away 2 races in a row and win and run flag to flag and win that thing, he's definitely off to a great start here in the V8 Supercars America Series.
Yeah, it is fantastic. And speaking of the talent level, it has been a huge step up. And I know to all the viewers out there, maybe you haven't made all the races you wanted to yet. I'll tell you one thing. You do not want to miss next week. We are going to be heading out to Suzuka Circuit in Japan, and it's a Formula One track. It's just unbelievably awesome track. I think we're going to have an amazing race next week. You're not going to want to miss that. That's going to be same time. It's an 18-lap race, and after that we'll head to Brands Hatch, and then of course right after the midway point in our season, week 7, we'll be starting the second half of the season off at Mount Panorama at Bathurst for 33 laps. And that's going to be exciting. So that's the next 3 weeks here in the V8 Supercar Americas for you guys. Should be very exciting over the next couple weeks. You're not going to want to miss this action. And I tell you what, man, it's almost getting to where it's hard to call, Kane. You got so many good drivers out there. You mentioned just a moment ago about how hard it is for somebody to come in and dominate. And it's absolutely right. I mean, you got guys that are just unbelievable drivers. And used to, it was hard. It was difficult to get in the top 2 or the top 3. But you could usually see guys that would make it up into about the 4 or 5. It's hard now to get in the top 10, Kane. I mean, there's good drivers that are sometimes finishing outside of the top 10. And what I mean by that, look at the results today. A great driver finishing outside of the top 10 in Bo Cattell. And it's not the first time we've seen great drivers finishing outside of the top 10 here. Joe Peak had a tough day today. Nigel Baines, another one that finished, the really good drivers finishing outside of the top 10. So, this is a really, really talented field. And you got to give it to Chris Stone. Great drive for him, finishing 9th, got a top 10 finish for him. And he started today in 12th, worked hard, gained 3 spots, and stayed there in a solid finish from Chris Stone. And, it's just so talented, and we see new names, it seems, every week. We're getting a new name here or there. And it's just so good to see these talented guys coming in here. And I think they're really learning something when they get here, just how good this field is. This is awesome. It looks like we're about that time to get the Get 30 MX post-race started. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and kick that off, and let's go ahead and bring in the race winner. Let's go ahead and have a word with John Emerson. John, welcome to the Get 30 MX post-race show. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, pretty good, guys. Pretty good. Pretty happy with that win. It was good. Good fun.
Man, I tell you what, buddy, it's good to see you back there on the track, and you come out and dominate. A great performance here in a very talented field, man. Tell us a little bit about how the day went.
It went really well. I put a good qualifying time in earlier in the week, so it gave me a chance to sort of work on the race, set up a fair bit, which I think I got probably the nicest set I think I've ever made for myself, which I was really happy with. It was really good, and I was doing a bit of a warm-up before the race and blew my engine going into turn 1, and that sort of spooked me. And then when I was on the grid, throttle started playing up, and I was like, ah, crap, it's the end. It's going to be a bad race, but it all sort of came good when the lights went green, and yeah, just head down and went for it. Chad was staying there for a little bit, and then not sure what happened. He just sort of dropped off a bit, and yeah, just push hard to the end, pretty much.
Well, I tell you what, from a spectator point of view, the car looked absolutely fantastic. It looked very stable. Looked like you had 100% control out there, and it looked like you were just out there on a fun drive, man. It looked like, and that's what happens. You know, that's what they say. The best drivers make it look easy, and that's what it looked like today, man. You made it look easy up there up front.
Yeah, like I said, setup felt fantastic. Car was a jet, and that track is just so much fun to drive around. And I just had a ball, pretty much.
Can't argue with that, man. Keep up the good work, and I hope that you get to make it back next week. An exciting track as we head out to Suzuka next week, and that's always a fun one, the old Formula One track. So hopefully we'll see you then next week.
Yeah, it should be there. It'll be good. It'll be good fun. Cheers, fellas.
Man, absolutely. Congratulations on the win, John, and as always, a pleasure to talk to you, buddy.
Cheers, guys.
Absolutely. That is John Emerson, everybody, a winner here in Week 4 action. And next, let's bring in a guy that come in, great job, another great performance. Let's bring in Tony Ottridge and talk with him real quick. And Tony, welcome to the Get Dirty MX Post Race Show. How are you doing, buddy?
Hey guys, going good. How are you guys doing?
Oh, man, I tell you what, it's good to be back in the broadcast booth and seeing you guys tonight. But what a performance put on between you and Marlon McMullen tonight. Fantastic run. You guys exchanging positions. Tell me a little bit about your race.
Yeah, so he got me at the start. I started on the outside and he got past me. And then, yeah, just tried to stick with him for a while. We were pretty even on pace. And then I managed to get past him. It was a pretty risky pass, but he made it pretty easy. And then I kept messing up the first chicane, and eventually I went way too fast in there and went into the grass. So he got past. And yeah, it was pretty hard to get back past, so he wasn't going to make it easy for me a second time.
Well, it was, I tell you one thing, it was fun to watch you two put on an amazing show for all the viewers out there, and for Kane and myself. We really enjoyed it, and thought you guys, I thought you had him, and then he'd come back, and then you'd pass him, and then he would come right back at you, and it just was back and forth. That's the kind of action we look for each and every week, buddy. You just keep up the good work, and if you keep racing like that, you'll be having some more wins under your belt real soon.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to track to pass on. I don't know if you saw it, but I kind of half got past him the second time, and I went straight into the grass. Just went way too shallow into that fast left-hander.
We did. We did catch that, and it was awesome. I saw you take the pass, and then it just went in a hair too hot, and the car went a little off the track there, and that just was extremely exciting. Probably one of the big climaxes of the race.
Yeah, it's pretty hard track to pass on, but yeah, it was pretty fun nonetheless.
Well, we sure do appreciate you having a chat with us. Hang tight. We're going to bring in Marlon right now and have a chat with him, see what he thinks about it. Let's bring him in now. Marlon, welcome to the Get Dirty MX Post Race Show. How are you?
You're not bad, guys. How about yourself?
Man, doing wonderful. Just having a word with Tony Ottridge just a second ago, talking about you two and your phenomenal race today. Both of you guys put on the show today to watch the battle from the start of the race. Tell us a little bit about it from your point of view.
Yeah, from the get-go, I qualified pretty well this week, which I was really, really happy about. So sort of really clicked with this track, and from the get-go, I had a really good start and was able to get in front of Tony and held him off on this early sort of stint of the race. And slowly the middle of the stint sort of came together, but not as well as I would have liked it. And he slowly started to creep back, the margin and started to put a lot of pressure on me. So I was panicking a little bit. And then, so the only thing I could do was, do the best job I could do and do the sort of qualifying laps every single lap and not make a single mistake. And I'll tell you, when you got bloody Tony behind you, he doesn't give up. He doesn't relinquish the battle at all. So he's one that's hot on your heels. He won't get off you. So it's pretty cool. And another thing to note as well, Corey was right behind us. So I didn't want to, get into anything too significant with him and battle too hard. So I was very conscious of that. And yeah, so the second stint came and he really put the pressure on me and he made a couple of cracks at me. So I didn't want to make it too hard for him. And I'm not sure what happened. He just, sailed off. So he might have missed his brake marker a bit, or it's very hard to battle side by side here. So credit to him, to keep it on the track at all times. And both of us, the battle so close together, so hard. So, and then at the end, he went off that last time, and I just had, enough of the gaps to sort of just creep away. But I knew he was coming at the end, so I did the best job I could do, and just, held him off at the end to held off third. So I'm really happy with that. Really, really, really awesome race.
Yeah, it was fun to watch, and I know it looked like you guys were out there having a good time, and a great result from both of you, man. That was really fun. Y'all keep up the good work, Marlon, and we'll be heading to Suzuka next week, so that'll be fun to watch. Though I can't remember us racing at Suzuka in recent memory, so that will be very interesting.
Yeah, definitely been a while since we've been to Suzuka, so one of those long tracks as well, so it'll be quite interesting to see, who comes to the table next week. So, yeah, really, really good track, so I can't wait for it.
Absolutely, buddy. Y'all too, really enjoyed watching y'all, and I'm going to bring in a guy that was kind of in y'all's shadow for the race today. That would have been our good buddy Corey Preston, so I'll bring him in to have a word with us. Corey, welcome to the Get 30 MX post-race show. How are you?
I'm pretty good. JD, how are you, buddy?
Man, fantastic, buddy. A great run out there from you today. Saw you back there. You had your good runs there, and you almost caught Marlon McMullen and Tony Ottridge up there as those two kept battling back and forth. And just at the end, though, couldn't quite catch them, but a great run out there.
Yeah, I was on for the America's win yesterday, but my internet connection put paid to that, so I thought I'd come back today stronger, and yeah, I just didn't quite have the pace that Marlon and Tony had. Like I kept with them for like the first 10, 15 laps, and then I started clipping the tyre bundles. Like I clipped it once, the fenders, as you guys would say, were still in the car, but it just took that little bit of an edge of performance off, and then I clipped it about 3 or 4 more times, and then it just took the fenders right off. So yeah, then it was slow, and I couldn't match my pace. But they started battling, and I was hoping to catch them. But all in all, a pretty good race, but a little lonely though.
Might have been a little lonely, but you had to enjoy the view ahead of you. That was awesome with those two like that. I was thinking maybe that would slow them up enough to let you in the picture as well, and we would have had a 3-car battle for the final podium spot. But in the end, a great run anyways, and it's good to see you back in action. And one thing I brought up during the show or during the broadcast today was just how impressed I am, the fact that you've been able to jump back in the action so fast after the injury and everything, and it looks like it's actually helped you out a little bit, like you maybe have a little bit more mental focus, and whatever the case may be, it seems to be working for you.
Yeah, I've put a lot of time and effort in the last couple of weeks to try and not be seen as that guy who can't finish a race. Not be seen as that guy who always runs off the road, comes back on, takes someone out, or just makes a silly move. I'm trying really, really hard just to turn that around, and I think my on-track antics are showing. I'm getting the good results. Low-ish incidents. There's a bit of them today, but this is just this track. It's quite hard, and it's quite easy to clip the grass there. So yeah, I think I'm doing really well, and as you said, I have a lot better mental focus, and yeah, it's just allowing me to get on with the job at hand. So yeah.
Very nice, Corey, and keep up the good work, and that stuff will continue to show if you just keep doing what you're doing right now, man. Everybody will see exactly the improvements that you've been making.
Thanks,
But you know it, buddy. Hang tight. As you know, as always, got loads to talking about. Let's bring in the guy that finished second in the race, as he's up there now. Let's bring in Chad Chastain. Chad, welcome to the Get Dirty MX Post Race Show. How are you, bud?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
Man, I'm doing wonderful, buddy. It's so good to be back and up here watching you guys race. Back from vacation, and man, it's just been an awesome time. And watching you today, man, up there, you kind of had a lonely run as in second up there. You had a good run at the beginning trying to catch up with the leader there. But in the end, John had just a little bit more pace and was able to get the win, but still a wonderful run up there, Chad. Finishing second and second spot on the podium.
Yeah, it feels good. I mean, all week long, John's just had incredible pace, and I struggled to close that gap. So when I saw him sitting next to me on the grid, I knew I was in for a long day, and felt pretty good with my race pace. Stayed with him for a while, and then made a little bobble going into the first chicane, I think on lap 7, and that just kind of scared me a little. And then it was just at that point death by 1,000 cuts, every little minute mistake, and I just watched the relative click out. And John is he's textbook. He just makes no mistakes, and he just slowly but surely pulled away. But again, I'm really happy in the Sim Pit Falcon this week. Really really happy to get
Yes,
back in the
sir.
Ford and drive that baby, and couldn't be happier, honestly.
Man, it looked good. Good looking colors on there too. Rocking the green, the lime green, looked fantastic, buddy. Great job, second place finish.
Thanks a lot, King.
But anyways, buddy, it's always a pleasure, Chad. Hang with us. As you know, we got tons of stuff to talk about. I'm gonna bring your teammate in, Marty Carroll, and have a word with him. Actually, I take that back. I'm gonna bring in Tony Ottridge first. Tony's been waiting. I've been wanting to talk to him. Or actually, we already talked to him. I'm sorry. Well, we'll bring in Marty. Marty, welcome to the Get Dirty MX Post Race Show, buddy. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Good,
Jay,
man.
Kane?
Doing wonderful. I was a little concerned on if you would be able to talk real good. I know you tell me you just had some surgery or some work done.
Yeah, I had to get a wisdom tooth that was growing a bit funny, surgically removed. So I've got a few stitches in the mouth, but a few painkillers, probably a little too close to the start of the race. It's a little daisy in that last qualifying session, but no, it kept the pain away long enough for the race and to come in here for a chat. So.
Awesome, buddy. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're doing good, and I thought that was very, very impressive to just have had wisdom teeth pulled and on the track the next day in a race. And not only that, but what a job you and having a help me out, Kane.
That super talented driver, Michael Schreier.
Michael Schreier, yeah, I couldn't get the name out. What a job you two did. I mean, we could talk forever about it, but in all honesty, man, Michael Schreier was right there. He had phenomenal pace, and literally like he was just waiting for you to make the mistake, and that was the awesome part, Marty. You never did. You looked very cool, calm, and collective, and very impressed with how well you held that.
Yeah, definitely spending a bit more time in the seat. I've got a bit more free time to focus on the V8 at the start of this season, so it has been good to being up there and running with those talented guys like Michael Schreier, and getting closer to the Marlon McMullins and Tony Ortnots. But big congratulations to John Emerson and Chad Chastain. They were just in another postcode today. Both those guys just drove away from each other and the rest of the field, and awesome job for Corey Preston. He's been showing some good form and real maturity as a driver, coming in 5th. But the pressure cooker, Michael Schreier, put me under that whole race. I haven't been on solid foods for 3 days. I've been on pumpkin soup and ice cream.
Ooh, I'll take the ice cream.
And it's about 34 degrees Celsius in Brisbane today, so I'm wringing wet. And it was just unbelievable pressure, and it was exactly that. I was just stay focused, Marty, breathe, no mistakes, and I was just good enough in a couple of areas around the track to be able to hold that minor gap. And but he was a very smart racer, and he's been doing this for a long time. And whenever he overheated his tyres a little much, he would just back off that little bit, and I'm like, I know what you're doing. And the very next lap, he's just right back on my ass, and I didn't get that breathing space. So definitely, happy with the effort to be able to hold him off. That sort of caliber driver, and great racing as always with him. And all in all, a good result for myself and Chad, and Michael Fulcher finishing inside the top 10. So it was a bit unfortunate for Nigel today. A bit of an incident there late in the race. Just got caught out with with the bumpy surface, and unfortunately he hasn't had a lot of track time. He only put that race set on in the warm-up before the race, so for the limited amount of preparation he did a fantastic job anyhow. And yeah, with Michael Cracknell there sneaking in the top 10 also with a good performance.
Yeah, it was fantastic. In fact, that's exactly who I'm fixing to bring in is your teammate, Michael Cracknell. Let's bring him in for a quick word. Michael, welcome to the Get Dirty MX post-race show, buddy. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thanks, JD. How you going?
Man, doing wonderful, buddy. Just got through chatting with Marty, and he was talking exactly about just a good performance from you, man. A great top 10 from you. Tell us a little bit about the race today.
Yeah, well, first lap didn't exactly go to plan. Yeah, had a bit of an incident down into the hairpin, and I was able to hold it, but I got a slowdown out of it, so I lost a few spots there. But other than that, sort of fought my way back up to 10th with Nigel going off and so forth. But yeah, I was trying to get past Chris Stone for the last 12 laps, but he drove really well, and I was on high incidence, so I couldn't really do much. If I'd had contact, I probably would have got disqualified. So in the end, I had to settle for 10th. But the SDC Simpit Commodore ran really well, and I felt like the times were pretty good. So not too bad a race.
No, not at all, buddy. I thought you did a really good job. Just very exciting race all throughout, Mike. I was talking with Marty. He had a battle the whole race with Michael Schrader. Unbelievable. You had a couple little run-ins yourself, had a couple good battles. Tell us about those.
Yeah, I had a battle with David Moore and for a few laps, and I was able to get by him pretty clean. He didn't make it too hard, didn't make life too hard for me. But then yeah, there was a battle with Chris Stone, and as I said, he drove a pretty good race, and I was able to keep with him and match him. But in the end, I just couldn't get around him, so I thought it was probably better off just settling. But yeah, no, it was a pretty good race. I enjoyed it.
And it was fun to watch, that's for sure. We really enjoyed it, and look forward to next week, man, as we head to Suzuka. How's your experience level out at the Suzuka circuit?
I haven't run a great deal of laps there, but I did a couple of races in the Star Mazda there a couple of weeks ago. So I know the layout, but having said that, the V8 is going to be a totally different beast to drive around there as opposed to the Mazda. So yeah, no, I think it'll be a really good track for the V8s. Really looking forward to it.
Fantastic, buddy. Great performance, both you and Marty. I know I kind of cut Marty off in the middle of it talking, but I wanted to bring you in too while we were talking about you. But man, fantastic job, all you guys. Let's. I do want to bring in Caleb real quick from the second split. Let me go ahead and pull him in. And Caleb, welcome to the Get Dirty MX post race show, buddy. And from what I understand, congratulations on winning the second split, man. Tell us a little bit about how the race went over in the second split and your victorious win.
Thank you, JD. The second split
And we're not hearing you, Caleb, or I'm not hearing you.
I heard him.
Yeah, I had him.
Go ahead, go back. You were just fine. That would have been my volume went off on my headset, buddy. I'm sorry, Caleb.
Well, second split was a very great split in my box. It was a great start. I think there might have been a couple of incidents back in mid-pack, I think. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like it was a pretty eventful race back there in the second split. You guys had 19 cars in the second split. And tell me a little bit about how it was up with your race. Did you kind of have a runaway race, or did you guys have a close race all the way to the end?
Oh, it was pretty close at the start. I got past Luke in 4 laps, and yeah, it was kind of a runaway race. It was about 2-second gap, and then Luke had a bit of an incident at the end, and yeah,
Sounds pretty fun race there, man. And tell you what, it'd be fun to see you come up here and race in the top split. I'm sure it won't be long if you keep the winning results up. That I rate will keep skyrocketing up, and you'll be up here racing in the top split in no time, man.
Yeah, I hope so. It seems like the top split is got a lot of fast races, so I'd be happy to compete against them.
Oh yeah, man. This something we talked about during the broadcast is just how much the top split has improved over the past couple seasons. It has just really, really improved. A lot of the drivers have improved together, and some drivers used to come in and dominate this series, and now it's hard for somebody just to come in and dominate. It really is fun to watch. But anyways, guys, enjoyed watching. Thanks, Caleb. We sure do appreciate you chatting with us. You're more than welcome to hang with us and have a chat with us as we get ready to discuss a few things around the sim racing community. Well, like I said, it's great for me to be back, guys. I really missed you guys last week. One more time, I do want to thank Kane and Brenton O'Brien on a wonderful show they put on last week. I was unable to be here. I was with family. We went on a vacation to celebrate and bring in the new year. Had a wonderful time, but it is great to be back. And what a race to come back to. You guys put on an awesome show tonight, all of you. Jim, I see you've come to join us and grace us with your presence, sir. How are you?
Well, Mama said if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. So I'm glad Caleb had a good race up front in the second split. Everything behind him was disaster.
Oh, really? One of those races, huh?
I am ashamed to have been part of this series tonight. It was ridiculous.
Well, hate to hear that, but it does happen from time to time. It's a very narrow track, tough track too, one we haven't been at in a while. So I could definitely see how that could happen, and we just hope that maybe that will not happen next week as we head to Suzuka. Maybe we'll have a little bit of a different luck there in the second split for you.
Next week will most likely, at least until our time change, where we go back to the 10 o'clock hour. Next week will probably be my last one, just because I'm pretty sure my work schedule is getting ready to change. We'll still be updating points, so no fears. Everybody can rest assured that all of their all of their missed weeks will still count. but but yeah, it's next week at Suzuka, which is probably my worst track. Will be my last one in the V8 series or America series for a while.
Well, as we hate to hear that, Jim, I am excited that we're going back to the 10 o'clock hour. For me, it's the 10 o'clock hour on the East Coast. It's 9 Central. But I'm glad that that's going on. It
Still
works
quite
out.
a ways away.
Is it? Okay, how far away is it?
Springtime.
Yeah, it's. I think that don't happen till May.
Oh, well, you made it seem like it was in like next week, Jim, or the week after next.
No, it's for a couple seasons.
Well, screw that, man. Forgive me, guys. I thought that he made me think it was coming up, man. I was all excited. I love when it goes back to 10 o'clock. But anyways, guys, how have y'all been? I feel like I have just been gone forever, and I feel like I've missed out on everything. So how's everybody been doing?
Tired, working a lot, having fun up till tonight, watching the second split, watching the Grossim series on Tuesday nights. It's
how is that going, Jim? How's the Grossim going?
Well, I can't complain too much because I won this week. So
well, congratulations, man!
It's a lot of fun. I can't.
Did the Grossim guys find somebody to broadcast? I know they were looking for someone to broadcast the races. I was hoping they'd find somebody because they do have a great series over there.
No, not right now. I mean, a lot of people are keeping recordings and then uploading them to YouTube after a race, but it's really just like their point of view during the race and such. But the racing's pretty clean. A lot of people are just using it as a learning experience. So it's a lot of fun for everybody. It's kind of like what the V8 America Series used to be, where it's just a small group of people, everybody knows everybody, and kind of joke around and laugh at each other, laugh at themselves, and
Let me tell you guys something. I'm glad you brought up the Grossim, the GV8 series, Jim. That is where I met Kane, and that is where I discovered really iRacing as my first league that I'd ever joined. And that place is wonderful. The group of guys that race over there are phenomenal. And I don't mean that as far as their racing talents. I just mean they're phenomenal guys. They're very helpful, and they're a very just fun and great group of guys to be around. If any of you guys are looking any V8s, and I don't mean the guys that I'm talking to just in this room. I'm talking to any of the viewers out there that are possibly looking into driving the V8, but maybe don't want to jump out into a series yet, or the official series or anything for fear of this, that, or the other. That is a wonderful place to go learn. Like Jim just said, they're very helpful. They're very understanding as long as you are respectful. That is all that they ask. And it is a wonderful place to go learn. And we had the best of time racing in those races. And that is also where Kane and myself got our broadcast start doing the GV8 series. And we really, really enjoyed our time there. And a big shout out to all the guys over at the GV8. They are, and Grossim in general. Just a great group of guys. I actually miss them. I mean, I need to go see how they're doing.
Shout out to the boys. They're a great group of guys. It's
Yeah,
the place where SDC was born.
That's right. That's where SDC was born. Just a lot of great memories from over there, and it's just a wonderful group. And I'm actually very, very happy to see that group is doing well. I was worried that maybe the GV8s had kind of taken a back seat to some other series, but it looks like it's doing pretty well from what I've heard, and I'm glad to hear that. I do hope that they get a broadcast going. I know I would love to do it. I'm just maxed out on what I can broadcast right now. That may change in the future, but it's just, oh man, it's such a great series, guys. If you're looking for another V8 series to run, Jim, what night do they run? Is it Tuesday?
yeah, it's Tuesday night. The server opens up at 8 Eastern. It's 40 minutes practice, 20 minutes to qualify, and then it's a 1 hour race. It's a timed race. It's not a lap race. This past week we had 20 people signed up. We had 19 actually. Well, I think we had 18 people actually participate. But it's about what it is. 20, maybe 25 people every week. And normally on I think on Sunday, sometime during the weekend, they'll put a practice server up for anybody to come in. They'll have the correct weather and the track for the following week and everything. So a lot of people are in there during the hosted session. You can just pop in, say hi, see what people are doing, how it is. Like I said, it's a bunch of friendly people. It's a lot of fun.
Definitely really good guys. Yeah, myself and Nigel try and get back there and support the guys whenever we're available. So definitely a lot of good guys over there. The Never Quit boys, Tony Klusterman and Greg Carr and the Silent Stalker.
Oh yeah, Silent Stalker, baby, Glenn Sidman.
Yeah, Glenn had a great race this week.
And yeah, they're definitely for the guys out there that are interested in. It's from development to advanced. It doesn't matter where you are, whether you're starting out or not. It's all full of encouragement there, and me and Nigel often get in there and help out some of the guys with sharing sets and all that sort of stuff. And I know the other guys do as well. And Tony Klusterman throws up the practice sessions on the weekends. So, yeah, definitely a good group of guys and a good league to be a part of.
Just real quick to throw it in there, if people are thinking, oh, I don't know, it's a league, it's going to be like, it's probably pretty boring. Let me tell you what, after a 1 hour race, I'm glad, I think it was Marty brought it up about Glenn Sidman. After 1 hour racing, I won. Glenn Sidman was second place by 0.454 seconds.
Wow. That's awesome, man.
It was a great race.
Well, I'm telling you this, Jim, when Kane and me used to broadcast these races, and this was about a little over a year ago now, they were intense then. I mean, you can ask Marty. He was in those races, and they were extremely good races then. So I can imagine now they're just as good, if not better, with time. I mean, I'm sure that the talent is those guys have improved some, and but the one thing that I always loved about it back then, and I'm sure it's the same way now, is the respect that the guys had for one another there. It was a place that I could go as a rookie and I could race with guys. They knew I was slow as Christmas, but I learned how to be respectful there. And the guys taught me so much. Marty was one of them that really helped me there when I was first learning not only V8 but sim racing in general. It's a great starting place, and I'm not saying that it's not a great place to go, even if you're already an established driver, because it is. It's a great place to go at any point in your sim racing career. You're never too good or not good enough to go there. It's just the right place to go. I think it's a wonderful experience for everybody. If you're an advanced driver, it's a great place to go and help somebody. And if you're an up-and-coming driver and or even a rookie and just even thinking about driving the V8, I just want to try it out, I would recommend going there and just meeting the guys. They have a website. The website was going when last time I checked. But you can go over there and just check out Grossim. And it's awesome, man. They're just a great group of guys. But anyways, thanks for bringing that up, Jim.
I think it's grossim.us.
Yeah, that's what
it changed. It actually changed.
Okay.
Oh, okay. What is it now, Jim?
Grossim dot or GRASIM dot Weebly WEEBLY.com.
Gotcha. I also want to mention that if anybody wants to watch some of those GV8 races, that if you search my name on YouTube, all the old broadcasts are there where I used to broadcast right off my own name. And you can watch some of those old races where Marty and Nigel got their start, and Tony Kloosterman, and a lot of great drivers back in this series back when we used to broadcast.
When me and Nigel were fierce rivals.
Yep.
Before neither of us got picked up to be partners.
That's right. That is funny.
No one liked us, so we had to merge. But yeah, no, the Grossim guys also have a Facebook page and that now too, so you can find them there and actually part of their group and stuff. And they're just a great bunch of guys. They're enthusiastic and they love the V8 Supercars and their GT3s. They run a few different series, so it's not just restricted to one sort of make or model. But yeah, no, I still enjoy going back and chatting with the boys and having a run around. So.
I just want to bring up the subject next week of Suzuka.
Chad for Chaddington. Nice to see you finished a race.
Oh, I see.
Oh,
He has 2 weeks in a row. Corey's really been on the ball here.
He
the
has
last
been
couple
awesome.
weeks. He's really...
Yeah, it's a good job.
Yeah. And it wasn't the most disgusting thing you've ever seen.
No, he's done a really good job, and I'm very proud of Corey. I think that he's got something really good going on.
Not to knock it, but maybe he should have cut his hand open earlier. Seems to have improved his driving.
I think it could have not necessarily been the injury to his arm, but maybe the time off just to, sometimes some time off does a person good. I know I haven't raced in a race since July, and I'm hoping that the same thing happens to me next time I get in a car. I'll just have much better pace, and I'm hoping that things happen like they did with Corey, and I just get back on the track and end up being fast. That's what I'm
When's that
hoping
going
for.
to be? The 24 coming up?
Well, I was thinking July. I was thinking sometime around June I should be ready.
Well, anyway, if we've all finished bashing that poor Corey fella, Suzuka, bit of an unknown. We haven't been there for a while. Next week, what are your guys' thoughts on it?
Sucks.
I'm excited for it. I think
I'm
that
excited too.
Suzuka's a
Come
great
on,
track.
Be positive for once.
it's
Trying to
a-
promote the sport.
Throws up a lot of variable. I remember a few seasons ago, a lot of the drivers used to go around there and sort of base their setup around there for the season. So it was sort of like the test track of the whole season.
I remember.
Probably
I
'cause it's a
remember
test course.
several drivers had mentioned that they used to set up their setups on Suzuka, and then adjust them from there.
Last time we were at Suzuka, I think Chad was a teenager.
Chad got wrecked last time we were there by Tim. Not my fault.
Let's keep this a little G-rated.
I can't even remember.
Jim
last
is just
time we were
trying
there.
to stir up the beans tonight, man.
Jim's feisty 'cause Jim's really irritated tonight. I think we have a new Not My Fault in the series, though.
Oh.
Well, let's be positive tonight. Well, let's
I was.
Can't say those things on air, Jim. You know.
He hasn't had a
Can we
good night,
edit
has he,
that?
guys?
Can we edit this, Kane?
I don't
We
know what
are
you're talking
live.
about.
We
I
are
wasn't
live.
talking about a
Button.
specific person.
Yeah, we are live.
I was talking in general.
Oh goodness, y'all are a trip. All right, what were we talking about before that?
Somebody was talking about how Suzuka is a test track.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
Carry on.
actually, we were talking about Chad being a teenager.
That's how long ago we were when we raced there. So it's
That's
gonna
right.
be,
There we go.
Yeah, I
Oh,
don't think
I
that
look forward
we
to
have
each and every week.
broadcasted it. So it's been an awful long time because we have not broadcast a race from Suzuka in the V8 Supercars. So
That's
About
right.
nearly a year.
So it's been over a
Oh.
year and a half.
Yeah, it's been long.
I was in my first season last time we went to Suzuka, so yeah, it's been a long time. These new cars will be interesting around there.
It makes me really excited about going there now. That is very exciting.
No,
can't
we
wait
went
to
on the
find
dirt
it.
oval if we wanted to. The level of competition and the level of skill that is not only in this series but across the iRacing service within the V8 Supercar series is second to none. And so it doesn't matter where we race, the competition is going to be fierce and the racing is going to be awesome.
And that's what I love to hear right there, man.
yeah, there's definitely tracks that some drivers don't like over other tracks, and tracks that are tougher than others. But one thing that we see week in and week out is that no matter what the track is, no matter how difficult, these drivers will get in there, practice, and learn the track, and they'll show up with a positive outlook and hope to do their best.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. I think I heard three of the top five finishers and I bloody going how slow they were around here during the week, and it just goes to show that you know, each track brings its own difficulties for the team, driver, individually. You know, the mindset to, you know, everyone puts in the time and effort. You guys, you know, there every Friday night to broadcast it, you know, so, you know, without you guys and without each and every one of us, you know, making the effort each week to, whether we love it or hate the track, we still put the time in and come out and try and put on a show and, you know, enjoy what we're doing.
Yeah,
It's a very
you're
good point.
You're absolutely right there, Marty. I mean, we always try to put our best on, but with Suzuka being a longer track next week, it's a bit hard to sometimes remember where the track goes. Sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, unless you've put down a lot of time, I see exactly what you mean there, Corey. Especially, you know, who was it that mentioned that they had been on the track just recently, so they know the track layout, but being in it in the V8 is a whole different ball game, and that is a very true statement. You know, it's a different ball game when you're taking a V8 around a track versus an open wheel or a GT3 car.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, the V8s really have no aero compared to some of the open wheel cars. So, yeah, as far as looking at setups and things like that go, it's totally different. Like driving that thing around Suzuka, it's going to be different to anything that I've driven around there.
Now, because it is a Formula One track, I mean, I'm just trying to think of a track that I could compare it to. I mean, it really doesn't compare to a Circuit of the Americas. In my book, it's different, but I'm just trying to compare it to something that we go to that I could compare it to, but I really can't. It's kind of its own unique track. It's really different than anything that we typically drive on.
Spa.
I think one of the closer tracks might be Phillip Island. That's sort of got a similar sort of flow to it.
And we go to Spa, Interlagos, Circuit
Yeah,
of the
Spa
Americas.
and Interlagos. Or actually, it reminds me a lot of Zandvoort. Twisty, turny, narrow, hard to pass. And by the way, 2013 season 1 was the last time we were there, and it was the Moto circuit. Wasn't even the GP circuit.
Oh God, that was bad.
Wow.
Now that's a long time.
That's
So many
back
slowdowns.
That's when we had Castergate and bloody the
Yeah.
high rake. The high
Yep.
rake.
The shopping trolleys, yeah.
Because they had just changed
Yeah.
the car.
The shopping trolleys.
Remember
my
we
worst.
had all the I was about to say something there. We had the rear end of the car just jacked up on stilts, and then the front of the car just as low as it could go. The cars looked really ugly back then. The way we had to set them up and drive them.
Man.
They have definitely come a long way with the car, and it definitely shows in the broadcast, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm
The paint
actually
schemes.
really looking forward to running Suzuka. I think it'd be a great track to run on. I know a few people don't like it, but I'm looking forward to seeing how I personally go, but how everyone else sort of goes around there too, because it's kind of new to everyone, relatively speaking, anyway.
2012 season 3 was the last time we did the GP circuit.
Wow. I tell you what, I mean, just from a broadcaster point of view, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be an awesome race. I think it's going to be really fun for the viewers to watch. That come in and watch each and every week. I think they're going to really enjoy watching you guys race on something different. I think it's going to be fun. And I mean, I'm sure it won't be the closest race that we've ever seen, but I don't think it's going to be a boring race. I think it's going to be very exciting, full of action.
Oh, as long as Chad goes barreling into turn 1 with no brakes and scores a strike, we should be right. It should be close then.
Talk about you or the other Chad?
Oh,
Don't forget John.
man.
Yeah, remember you put your name Chadford there.
Chadford Chaddington.
Open yourself up for it.
Ah.
I do remember when Chad lost his brakes a couple seasons ago. That was like the second race in a row. Chad had a bad luck start, and I definitely hope that he don't have that issue there at next
Well, we
week.
need something.
I've put a streak together lately. I had a couple of bad weeks.
We need something to level out the playing field a bit at Suzuka.
Well, I think the fact that it ain't been ran in so long, that does kind of level out the playing field a bit, don't it? I don't think anybody's got more experience on the track than anybody else as we come into here. Nobody's raced it since 2012.
Yeah, there's a lot of new people in the series that probably never run the V8 there. Some of the older guys have, but with the old car and the old tire model and everything else, you can get generics, but not a whole lot will directly transfer.
One thing's for sure, we'll be there and we'll be fighting towards the front. If we can, put the hard work in during the week, and like I said before, it doesn't matter where we go and race. It's the level of competition and the level of talent, and the challenge that it puts on the teams and the drivers each week. We just love it and love that you guys turn up every week for us, and we return the favour by trying to go out there and put on a good show.
And we appreciate it. It is such a blast to watch. I know the viewers really enjoy it each and every week, guys. And the viewers appreciate you guys coming in here each week for a post-race show and giving your personal thoughts and using your guys' personal time it really makes up for an amazing show, and we all appreciate it, even if we come in here and ramble sometimes and maybe jump off topic sometimes. But it makes for entertaining talk, and I think a lot of people really like to listen to it, and just to kind of get the views of what it's like, So
You know, I do want to say that I, for a long time, I didn't know how well this post-race show where we just kind of just babble on about different things. I didn't know if people enjoyed it or not, or if they just would stop it after the race or whatever. But in the last couple weeks, I have gotten several messages where viewers have said that they appreciate the post-race show and just talking with the drivers and kind of getting a more personable feel for everybody. They really enjoy that portion of the show. So where I thought that this part of the show was not really doing so well, apparently people really like it.
Yeah, everybody knows that Jim gets grumpy.
Yeah.
Very
I think we need to turn it into a lunch hour radio show and sort of have like JD or Kane talk like this, like, and now here comes the V8's Online After Race Show.
Well, since it is the new year, I want to go ahead and tell you guys, Kane and me do have our eyes set on a new project this year, and we are going to be starting a new show, and it's not going to be any type of race. It's going to be a show about real world racing, about NASCAR, and for the entire NASCAR season, Kane and me will have a weekly NASCAR show, and I hope that all of you guys tune in to listen, as we will focus on the real world NASCAR and talk about all the ins and outs of what's going on each and every week. As you guys know, I am a diehard NASCAR fan. I love it in and out, and really excited about this. It's been a project that I've been wanting to do for quite some time, but I just didn't think that I was ready for it, and I just kind of finally feel like it's better now or never to try it, and I think it's going to be a really fun project. And I'm sure that if you guys get to watching NASCAR, sure we'll be happy to invite some of you guys out there for an episode. It's going to be a really fun show. I do want to have like a part of the show where we kind of do what we're doing here, where we have people either call in or just come join us, whatever's easier at the time, and chat about things like different things around NASCAR and what's going on around the garage and different things like that. It's going to be very exciting for us. We're really excited. And like I said, I just hope you guys all support the show. And it's going to be very exciting. I'm looking at it as kind of like my baby. I'm really excited about it, and just praying that it goes good.
Can me and Marlon be your Australian correspondence reporters for V8 Supercar?
Absolutely. Absolutely, buddy. Of course. In fact, that would be fun. I would like to get some V8's stuff on there. Now, keep in mind, it is a NASCAR show, so I don't want to go
Marcus Ambrose is coming back to V8 Supercars. I'm sure he still has fans in the United States.
Of course he does.
Who would want to know how he's going.
And JD's one of them.
Yes, I know. That's right. I really am. He's right. I am a really big Marcus Ambrose fan. I really supported Marcus in NASCAR, and I'm excited that he's gone back to V8 Supercars. I'm going to miss Marcus Ambrose, but it will be exciting to see how he does going back to the V8 Supercars. I hope that he does really good. I'll be pulling for him, and that would be awesome. Marty, for you guys to come in and give the scoop on the show on how he's doing in the V8 Supercars. I know that the NASCAR fans would love to hear that, because I think that's something that other NASCAR sources will not provide NASCAR fans. I don't think they really will give an in-depth look at how he's doing once he's gone. I think they may say he's either great, bad, or whatever, but I don't think they're going to give a detailed outlook on how his performance is and how the fans are adapting to him or taking him in or booing him or any of that. There's so many different outlets for it, and I think it'd be awesome if you guys came and filled us in on that. That will be awesome.
I'll bet nobody even touches on it, actually.
Probably not.
Probably not, Kane. You're probably right, and that's sad that they probably won't. But that's why me and you are starting a show, buddy. so that we can bring awesome stuff out like that too. That'll be really cool. One thing I do want to do with this show is Kane's brought up the idea about it being a video podcast type show where we will be on camera. And so that will be very interesting. That's all, obviously we're everything's not final yet, so we're still in the works, which me and him got to close up on this. But one thing I really want to get to do, and although I almost guarantee it won't be ready to launch on the very beginning of the season, I do want to get it put on iTunes, the show, or on some type of source where if you guys or anybody that's riding down the road, or they can just put it on their iPad or their iPhone or their Android. You go to the Google Play Store, and they can download the show for free with ease onto their phone or whatever, and they can listen to it. So it won't only be it'll only be video on YouTube, but on
With a cooking segment.
Yeah, we'll do a NASCAR tailgaters.
We haven't spoken about food on here for a while.
We'll do a NASCAR tailgate food section in the show, yeah.
Well, you should get pictures of people's barbecues. They get old cars and use the front end, and you lift the hood, and it's got the barbecue underneath.
That's so awesome. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's funny you mentioned that. I have a NASCAR cookbook that I have. It's a book
Why
put
does that
together.
not surprise me?
And it will feature it on one of the shows.
Tell us some of the recipes, JD.
I need to go get the book. I can't think of any of them right now, but what it is it's a book put together by different NASCAR drivers and their families, and it's things that they cook when they're at the track. A lot of the drivers, they live a trucker's life. They're always on the road. And so they, don't get a lot of home cooked meals. So whenever they're somewhere where they can possibly cook anything from their motor coach or anything like that, it's awesome. So they have these recipes and they share them with one another. And an author got together and said, "Look, we should just put all these recipes together and sell it." And that's what they did. It's the NASCAR Tailgater's Guide. And it has a lot of cool stuff. It has some it has everything from salads to appetizers to soups to main course meals. Tony Stewart tells you how to grill up some shrimp real good, and how to make your own homemade barbecue sauce with beer. There's all kind of good stuff in there, man. Y'all just wanted me to get on the food. I know that, but it's a really cool book. It really is neat. And it's really cool. For Christmas, I got literally the NASCAR Bible. I got it's a book that's about 4 inches tall as far as how thick it is. And it is every single year in NASCAR's history. Every stat that's ever been published is in there. And it's loaded with old pictures and new pictures. It runs all the way to the end of the 2013 season. The end of that one when Jimmy Johnson won the year before this one. It is absolutely amazing. It's a big leather-bound book, and it was just an amazing gift. And so I'll be doing a lot of reading on that. So there'll be a lot of NASCAR history too that I'll be spitting out in some of the shows too. So it'll be an exciting show. And like I said, all your support will be hugely appreciated. And of course, like I said, don't be surprised if you get asked to come join us at some point and come have a chat with us.
That sounds awesome. I'm sorry to kind of go off on a tangent here, JD. You started talking about Marcus Ambrose, and I was like, hey, I want to go watch the last race of the V8 Supercar series because he was running for just some experience to get back in the new cars. So I looked at the V8 Superview site, and it looks like, I don't know, maybe somebody else in here can confirm it for me. Looks like the archives are basically just open for everybody to see. You don't have to have a subscription or anything. And you can get the entire 2014, entire 2013 seasons, and the Sandown 500 from 2012 is what it looks like. So
now I went and clicked on one last week, and it played. It looked like it was going to play video, but it was actually just a commercial.
Was it? No, it shouldn't. I mean, it's saying race 1, race 2, so.
Yeah, let
Might
it
be
play
there.
for a little bit and see if it actually does play the race. Because I think it's like an advertisement for each race. I think I think it's a girl who does the video, and I think she does one for each week.
Rihanna.
That would be amazing if it did work. That would be very exciting. I will look though.
I did notice that I didn't see a discounted package. Usually once the season's over, they discount the package for the replays.
You're
And
right,
I did
Kane.
not see one.
I was
That
looking for
stinks.
that. I got it last year for $9.99, and it actually was cheaper than that. It was $9.99 Australian, so it was like a few cents cheaper American. It was like $8.70 something, and I got it last year, and it was awesome. I spent this time until the new year started watching the entire V8 Supercar season, and it was so fun to go watch it. And I was planning on doing that this year. You guys know that, and never got. I haven't been able to see that that special. I just hadn't seen it, so I was hoping they'd pop it up. I figured it'd take a few weeks, after the season ended, for them to do it, but I figured it'd be up by now.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
you
I'm
know,
just looking, and it was letting me start videos earlier, but then I was clicked on one, it asked me for the login information this time. So sorry to get anybody's hopes up.
yeah,
Yes.
it just did that to me too. But yeah, you're not really missing much, JD. Jamie Whincup won the title again, surprisingly.
Way to ruin it for him.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's what YouTube's for.
I think we all knew that Jamie Whincup won the title. It was one of
Actually,
those
I
deals
didn't.
where a
I've
lot
been
of
watching
people
the
are not
races,
liking
so-
him, even though he's done so well and has won the title so many times. Yeah, he's starting to make everybody angry from winning so much.
That is the exact same thing that happened to Jimmy Johnson in NASCAR. He has so many people that dislike him just because he's good, and it's funny because the day that Jimmy Johnson retires, he'll have so many loyal fans that came out of nowhere, and it's just funny to me how that works. And I think you'll see the same thing with Jamie once he retires. They'll be like, "Oh, Jamie was so awesome," "Oh, we loved watching Jamie." But while he's here, everybody wants to see somebody else win. It's just the way that it works. Don't know why it is that way, but if you can remember, uh, I would never want to say this on my NASCAR show, I guess, but with Dale Earnhardt, if you remember back when Dale Earnhardt was racing in his little after his prime, let's just go all the way up till right before he died. He did not have the amount of fans that he has today. Now, I'm not saying that he didn't have a fan base, because Lord knows he had a nice sized fan base, but Dale Earnhardt had a lot of haters. He had a lot of them, and I knew a lot of them because I was a fan of Dale Earnhardt, and a lot of people gave me a hard time saying that he was the dirtiest thing in NASCAR. He's a dirty driver, cheap shot, this, that, and the other, and then, but after his tragic wreck and passing, obviously a lot of those turned into fans, and which is great. That shouldn't be any other way. But even if I'm just using this as an example, even if he had not passed away, I believe that even if he had just retired, once he was no longer a threat, the people that once maybe were not such a fan of Dale Earnhardt would look back on his legacy and respect it, and then turn into a fan of who he was and what he did for the sport. And that's what I believe that the V8 Supercar fans will do with Jamie Whincup, and the NASCAR fans will do with Jimmy Johnson once they are retired and gone. And it may not be an immediate impact, but I'd say at least 5 to 10 years after their absence or retirement, you will see how much fans will appreciate them and look at them, and their fan bases will more than double.
Yeah, you can't ridicule people for being that good. When you get people like that, so talented with the perfect team, like you look at the Mogul Shoemakers and Senna and Prost, when they were with the dominant teams, with the dominant driver, they make a mockery of the sport. They're that good. And
That's right.
you know, it's a testament to them, you know, and people who want to be haters and not get on the bandwagon of a winner, that's their problem if they want to support a loser. But, you know, it is what it is. You follow who you want to follow for the individual reasons, but you're 100% correct. Like the mockers now that think you know, guys like that make a mockery of the sport. You know, they're the ones at the Hall of Fame speeches clapping in 10 years' time. You know, so,
That's right. That's
you know, because once you look back on the stats and you know, they're incredible feats, and you know, they've got to get in the car, they've got to train, they've got to work hard, they've got to go out there and do it day in and day out. And you know, it takes a lot of work to get to be the king of the hill. It takes even more work to stay king of the hill.
That's awesome, man. It's a good point because when you look at it, now I don't know Jamie Whincup as well as I know Jimmy Johnson as far as, you know, from a out of the race car point of view, but Jimmy Johnson, I don't know how you could not like the guy. He has never said an arrogant thing. He is as nice as they
too
come.
perfect.
That's what it is. He's
He's a
too
robot.
perfect. People
Yeah.
think this guy's got there's, you know, what is he hiding? Because he is too perfect, and that is exactly what he puts off. That's what he comes off as.
But he works hard on how he wants to be perceived and how he speaks and how he conducts himself in front of the media, and understands that he's a public figure, so he doesn't, you know, he's very meticulous. I don't know, a lot of other professional sportsmen have been throughout their careers. You know, meticulous in the way how they want to be perceived by the public, you know, and then you look at someone like Tiger Woods, all that hard work goes to waste when he's playing, you know, the back nine as well as the front nine, you know. It's, you know, it's sad to see, but it's, you know, temptations of sport, you know. Magic Johnson back in the 80s,
Oh yeah.
you know, was taking home all the Laker girls, you know.
No, I mean,
Good
you
on him
look
too,
at
I reckon. Jeez.
in a way you can't blame him. I mean, a lot of the guys that we look at as perfect role models and perfect angels, a lot of them aren't perfect angels. They just haven't got caught. And
We just don't have the millions of dollars hanging out of our back pocket and just have chicks throwing themselves at us and the temptations of life.
right.
For yourself.
Yeah, you know, if we had what they wanted, we would have to make the same choices, I guess. So
That's right, brother.
they're only human at the end of the day.
You know, it's always easier to say you would or wouldn't do something, but when you're actually faced with that choice, and it's a reality, and it is a whole different ball game. That is for sure. But I tell you what, when you're talking about like a Jimmy Johnson or one of these guys that conduct themselves so well, it's hard for people to look at that when you have another guy over here, and not to bash one of the Canes drivers here, but you got like a Kyle Busch who doesn't care, is just going to run off at the mouth, and the same thing with a driver like Brad Keselowski. You know, they don't care. They're just going to run off and say what they want to say. Yeah, people think that, okay, well, they're, you know, yeah, they're punks, or yeah, they're this, but they're real. They're being themselves. They're not putting on a show. And I think a lot of people, when they look at a Jimmy Johnson or somebody like that, they think that they're just putting on a front, and they don't like that. Fans like to see the real picture. They
Well,
like
I
to
think
see.
Jimmy's being the normal one, and those guys are the ones putting on the show because
Amen, brother.
they
I think
want the entertainment, and they get
That's
paid
right.
millions of dollars to run around in race cars and be dicks and throw punches because it brings ratings and puts bums on seats. And God bless them.
That's right. You're absolutely right, Marty. That is very, very well said. Very well said. Well, but that's the excitement of the new show, guys, and we're excited about it, and we'll talk more about it as we get a little closer to the action. But before we get ready to close out today's show, does anybody have anything that they would like to bring up?
If only iRacing had a fighting and driver argument system.
That's the last thing iRacing needs.
They do. It's called voice chat.
Yeah, I was about to say.
After the race is over, you could enter into a boxing simulation.
No, I just wanna get out of the car, control my driver, walk over to the side of the road, and throw my helmet at some guy.
You'd probably bounce off and hit yourself. No offense.
You'd be crippled by now, Corey.
Boy.
Oh, the helmet would probably cut my hand again.
Oh, this would turn into Twisted Metal, not sim racing.
Actually, one thing I would like to bring up, and I noticed this when I raced the Star Mazda 2 weeks ago, is they have a different qualifying system where you actually qualify before each race, rather than having a separate server to qualify. So
I love that.
So
That'd be so
one
nice.
thing that I would really like to see is that coming to V8, because that was one element on its own that I really enjoyed about running that car, is that your qualifying time only counts for that race you're about to do, and if you do another race, then you have to do another qualifying time, and that's how the grids are determined, not so forth. Qualifying times over a week will get you a particular spot. Something that iRacing maybe should look at for V8. So I think it would be a great way to go.
I think they are looking at it and they're trialing it, you know, with a few of the small series, and you know they're a little bit more appropriate for those, and it's definitely that's what makes the Premier Series with the V8 Online and those present with the unique race format, you know. So yeah, like you say, you don't get guys that you know do 20 qualifying sessions, you know, to gain that tenth they need. You know, as we all know, you know, a tenth can cost you a P3 to P15 on the grid some days, and yeah, having to go out there each time and prepare for that one race, it would definitely make the strength of field races a lot more unique. That's for sure.
You're saying that's the way the Star Mazda is now?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's right.
The format, they've changed it. I think they've done it with the Lotus too, as well, Lotus 49 or something, or one of the Grand Prix legends.
No, the Lotus 79, their splits get determined solely by qualifying
on
time.
qualifying time. Yeah, they're the two things they're trialling. So yeah, no, it'd be interesting to see if they look to implement it into a few other series, and like we've said before, that you know the iRacing service give us great bang for our buck, and they do listen to the communities within each series, and so if it's something you know we wanted to petition up and get on the bandwagon, I'm sure we could twist some rubber arms and make it happen.
Yeah, but the only really negative thing I can impart on this discussion is, like our races, they're almost all sprint races as it is now, and you add a 15 or 20 minute quali session in before the race, it's only going to impact race length, and then you would actually have to start thinking about maybe limiting a fuel tank or doing something, because otherwise all the races would just turn into sprint races.
No, they get our opinion on what we want for series each, you know, with track and duration. If we want to have 12 enduros, we can ask for it. We don't want to take away. We spoke about this last week. You don't want to take away from that parity that we've got now. That you know we're constantly evolving to parity to the real world with physics and graphics as technology gets better each and every day. So yeah, you don't want to be looking to cap that sort of stuff with the unique series like the Premier Series and stuff. That's where we can have those sort of things. You know, if we have a double sprint round type formats, and it's going to be mixed up a bit. But you know, with the series that each and every team and driver work for each and every week, you know, we race on here for the parity because it is the best service available because of what they provide. So we don't want to be looking to take a backward step in trying to take away from what we've got. You know, we've got a 112 litre tank, and we want to fill it up and go race 40 laps somewhere.
Yeah, I know that, but the only thing is, you know, if we were to trial the quali before the race session, the V8 series, I somehow think race length would be affected.
No,
It will definitely
not necessarily.
add time. It will definitely add time to each session.
Yeah, but how many of us go in the 20-minute, half an hour before and do the qualifier before the race? And then we have a 7-minute break before the race starts and have a 5-minute warm-up. We do it now. no different.
Yeah, I don't think it would have to impact the length. I think the drivers that we have are dedicated enough that they would that 10 minutes would just be added on to the race time. I don't think that the number of laps per se would change.
Yeah, I'm with Marty on this. I think that's a great idea. Maybe we can talk to Jay and try to get them to try it out for next season.
Yeah,
Try it out.
definitely,
If we don't like
yeah.
it, then we don't like it. We can go back.
Like
That's right.
Craig said, I ran with him last week in the Star Mazda, and it was fun. It was fun having to qualify, and then so you do 15-minute qualifier and then 5-minute warm up, and then you grid up. So it still gives you the 5 minutes to throw your race set on and go out there and give it a quick shakedown. But it was quite a unique format, like you're hustling and bustling, 25 little buzz boxes out there all trying to qualify and find track position on. It was quite challenging,
Oh, and they're at Road Atlanta this week.
Yeah, awesome racing there, yeah. Just
like you say, everybody usually shows up for that qualifying session before the race starts, so it's not going to be a whole lot different. The only thing different is you can show up 15 minutes later to the race, and then you don't have that waiting period in between.
Yeah, that's right. And like when V8 Online used to broadcast the Aussie SOF on the Monday nights, they also broadcasted that qualifying session, the last qualifying session before the main race. Beforehand. So there's no difference to what we're doing now. Like, we're all putting in the time. It's the fact that we won't get that 7-minute break before the warm up, but you don't really want it once you get in the groove. Like you have that little cool down, and then you got to refocus, and it's just change the way you approach the race. You change your warm up strategy, so to speak, and because we've all got our own little knack we need to do before we go and race and prepare mentally, and it's all part of the challenge.
I didn't know they were doing that with the Star Mazda. Thanks for bringing that up, Michael, because that's definitely interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it was the first thing I noticed when I jumped in to do my first race, and my first thought was, geez, how good is this? Imagine how good this would be in the V8. Like, I'm all for it. I think it'd be a great initiative for the series.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be nice to see something like with the NASCAR iRacing series, where they just have, the 5 allocated time slots each week.
Yeah.
And they have their qualifying before the race as well. So it'd be good to have something unique like that instead of every 2 hours the race is there. It'd make people prepare a bit better for the races, and if we had the allocated race slots for each time zone, instead of having 300 people register over the course of the day, you'd get them all at once and have 10 splits.
Yeah.
It's something different for the future as well to look at.
It's a very good point, guys. Well, guys, I think it's about that time to wrap it on up. I sure do appreciate everybody's inputs today. Awesome show and an awesome race. I want to thank all the viewers today for coming by. Make sure you guys subscribe to V8 Online if you haven't done so already. That way you get all the updates on any time we get another show, a live broadcast. You get it right away. And make sure you guys enjoy your week, and we'll be back next week, of course, from Suzuka. It's going to be one of the most interesting races of the season. You're not going to want to miss it. A lot of the drivers have not drove there in the V8 in a long time, some not at all. So it'll be definitely worth your while to check out the race next week. And on behalf of everybody here, y'all have a good night. Like I said, big thanks to all the drivers for coming in, post-race interviews. Always a pleasure to have a word with all you guys. Thank you so much. It really means a lot, and the viewers appreciate it. And we'll be back next week, guys. So same time. We're not going to the 10 o'clock time slot for a while, so no worries about that. And y'all have a wonderful night. We'll be back next week, guys, as we come to you live from Suzuka.
Thanks, Kane. Thanks, JD.
Oulton just has to cross over this crest. He will cross the line and will win the championship